In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how to build your execution engine, which in short term just means how to build your lean project management system that does not get in the way and focuses on execution. We're going to go through the big idea and what most people get wrong on this, the core tools that most people use and what we're actually using, the cadence, how to roll this out, and then go into the deep dive of the detailed structure we're using on how to manage projects across many divisions, all very simply, that does not get in the way, and things to avoid. All right, this is going to be a good one. Last year, we did $30.5 million in cash collected in our info coaching business. We've now crossed over $73 million in total cash collected, and I'm not selling you everything. Everything on the channel is to share what did work, what didn't work, and what we are actively doing to scale to $100 million a year, all with the goal of finding top talent, opportunities, and building a cool network of people building cool shit. So let's get into it. Switched up the color on you guys today after 63 days. It's feeling crazy. So big idea here. Most of these systems, project management systems, how you manage your projects, how you manage your tasks across divisions and across people in your company have too many layers. They often have multiple owners. They have no consistent rhythm. They definitely do not get held to standardized deadlines. And a lot of the time it ends up being busy work. So you all know what I'm talking about when we start to talk about you want to launch a new initiative, whether it's a small project or a massive project. Too many chefs in the kitchen, no one clear owner, and it is hard to manage. You try to hire a project manager, you try to hire a COO, someone, they implement all these systems that slow you down, and that is not the goal here. So we built a lean one. This is real-time building. I will be able to actively update you on how this goes for us and how it evolves. This is V1, which is actually like V6 of us doing this, but I'm in control of it now, and this is how I just built it. So core tools that a lot of people use: ClickUp, Asana, Notion, Airtable, Slack, etc. The ones we have chosen to use is the companies on ClickUp. I'm actually a really big fan of Airtable, but that's just kind of how I think. It's like a spreadsheet more or less. And then Slack for dedicated projects or for dedicated channels around projects that are large that need communication around them, as well as meetings around those. So the cadence for us, I went over this in another video 1 or 2 ago that talks about how we're going to focus on cross-functional and department focused. And this is the actual meeting cadence. So the board, the lists and all that actually operate in this, and so do the meetings. So for us, we're going to have a meeting early in the week. That is our operations meeting that we've always had, and is now going to be focused only on cross-functional. So it's going to be higher leverage things. It is going to be projects and initiatives that are company-wide that are higher leverage as you have your entire C-suite, your highest operating level people. Now, this is the scale we are at. At another level, I would almost say that cross-functional is kind of all of them, and you can determine when you need this, but we are to a phase and stage where we do need this multiple layers. So cross-functional, you're going to talk about projects that are all-encompassing. Think about an entire project launch, or I'm sorry, a new offering launch. It needs marketing, it needs tech, it needs fulfillment, it needs sale, like it needs everything. So those will be decided here. They will be talked about, decided, and the owners will be assigned out, and the sub-projects will be. Department focus. This is going to be something that is like tech for tech, marketing for marketing, things that do not need to be talked about and wasted of time across all divisions in a cross-functional meeting. You do not need to talk deep in depth about low ticket for 30 minutes of an hour-long meeting when you have 4 other people in the room that, yes, it affects on a company level, but not in terms of what they need to do in the project, in the decision-making process, any of that. So here's how we are rocking. We're going to have one master list. And don't think about this like one to-do list, but actually one like fully fledged relational list. Okay. So you're going to have one source of truth, and think in like terms of a waterfall and then having subcategories. So there, Sharfin was a really good one. So look up his stuff. He's had a bunch of good stuff. I don't know if he still sells his, but his was essentially going from annual goal to quarterly goal. And these are waterfalls. What I mean by this, from quarterly goal, then to the monthlies and weekly breakdowns of how they get there. And it's basically your KPIs as well as the projects are flowing through. So think, let's say you want to launch low ticket, or you want to sell 4,000 low tickets in Q1. Okay, so what needs to happen now in Q1, broken across the months? You need to launch the low ticket. You need to do ideation around the low ticket. You need to do all these different things. You need to go live with it. You need to have setters on the back end. You need sales. You need to have fulfillment on there and CS and supporting. You need the community manager. Like you have all these pieces, and those all get fledged out across those departments. Now, how we're doing it in a leaner way, this is our task setup. So one master board, and then think left to right. Okay, almost like a spreadsheet, but more advanced. You're gonna have your project name. It's going to then have a status. It's going to be either open, meaning it's like in the parking lot, an idea, something that we are going to handle but aren't handling yet. And this is the portion that we are going to like talk about during the meetings in cross and in department. Once it is assigned out and it is set to a to-do, it gets a due date and it gets an owner. Okay. Once it's then in progress, this is kind of like multi-week projects. So if you're going to have it, for example, if you're going to have something that's going to last 2 or 3 weeks, on that meeting, you need to have it that it's in progress, that it is being done and being worked on, but only moved into there when it is. And then things like, it needs to be done by next day. Those are to do all the way to completed. Blocked, that is occasionally going to happen, and that is when something is stuck due to some dependency or some macro change that happens. An example of this is we were going to order merchandise and swag for something. We got it all signed up, all basically over the finish line. We were right there. We were about to order, and we're like, we just don't need this right now. This is not something that's needle moving. It is a distraction. It is not going to help us right now. So we just put it in blocked, and it'll sit there until every meeting we'll quickly cover. Are we ready for this? No, not yet. Okay, throw a future due date on this and let it sit. Completed is when it is done. Now, again, these will all then have a due date, a submitter, so who submitted it. So a lot of the time I will submit ideas that I either hear other places or someone says. If I hear someone specifically say it, I will put them as the submitter. And then the champion is who is going to own it. It then falls into a department bucket for us. I have it pulled up over here. The core ones for us right now are marketing, sales, tech, product, and CS. Those are in one because it's kind of, for us, they're batched together. Finance, and then personnel, okay? Now, I combine some of these because of how our hierarchy is and who we have as leaders, but you could break these out further, or you could also make them a little bit simpler and batch together. Like I know people who do acquisition, for example, and that's sales and marketing. I know people who include tech and personnel. They'll put inside like CS. Like there's a lot of different ways you could do this, but make it unique to you. And then type. For type, all you're going to do is, for us, we're going to do either cross sync or a department sync. And what that does is allows you to then create all your filtered customized views using one master list that is applicable just for those departments. So an example of this, and here's an actual visual of what this will look like on here, right? So you're going to have your project name. So in this, you're going to have a renewal offer design, let's say. You're going to have that marked as open because it hasn't been assigned yet. Once it gets assigned to do, it'll then get a due date. I was the one who submitted it because I wanted to bring it to the table and have everyone talk about it. The CPO is assigned it because that they are in charge of this renewal offer basically, but it is then, and it's a product in CS, but it's a cross sync because it's a renewal offer. It's a complete offer. It's going to need sales scripts. It's going to need tech built around it. If it's, for this, it's renewal. It's on a back end. So you need entire tech systems and tracking. It's going to need marketing on how we're going to actually create the language around it, the copy, the, any of the assets you need. It's going to include CS. How is the entire fulfillment and CS, how is it going to have that entire department actually fulfilled on, and the group, and what different things they give and like levels of service. So all of that would sit in cross sync. And then from there, it would have projects that break down under it. Now you can choose to either do this as subtasks or tasks under it directly, or additional tasks, and then you would assign those out as department level ones. Okay. So an example, I'm looking over here because this is where I have ours. I can't share ours just because I already have 300 and something across every department, or across the all, and then each department is broken down. So for us, I have the all table, so I can see everything in one place. I then have a cross table that is it's going to have everything that only has cross sync. So these are the things in to do, in progress, open, that we will cover on our Tuesday cross sync with all the important leaders all in one place. Things like doing a giveaway promo, things like building an entire platform, things like LTV brainstorm sessions, things like company-wide ChatGPT training, things like qualifying tools we're talking about using, things like changes to sales calls we're talking. Like those are bigger things that affect multiple divisions, and we need to decide those as a company in one place, and those will be cross-sync, okay? Now, the next tab you're going to have on top of there, these are all views of the same data set. Okay, all views of the same data set, just filtered in different ways. The next one is going to be department specific, and that is going to be for us, in order, tech, fulfillment, sales, marketing. Okay, in that order, and that's how we're going to run our meetings. So that's how these are filtered across here. And each one of those will have its own to do, in progress, to do, open lists, and those will be handled in those meetings specific. Now, who is on these meetings right now? It's going to be me and CEO, and then is going to be the department lead. It may branch down into having other people in it, but the big benefits of doing this is you will have public visibility. Anyone can click on these different boards and see. There's nothing sensitive across here, nor is there anything sensitive across this level of leadership that we would not share. You're going to have one dedicated owner. There's one person that's responsible for it with a direct deadline and a due date. we have a culture, and we have had one that got a little slippery on terms of like, oh yeah, and then next Friday. And I already said that in a prior video. Like, my big concern on this is our meetings are Tuesday and Thursday. So easily for someone Thursday to be like, oh, I'll have it done by next meeting, which is the following Tuesday. And I'm going to like nip that immediately in the front, because that is not cool. We need to have a standardized culture of the champion knows that the due date is when the due date is, and we get things done within those or before them. Okay, so that is like a big thing. We're going to have public visibility around that. We're going to have dashboards around that on who the owners are and what their completion rates are. And we're going to focus on outcome over effort. I guess this is part of the avoid thing, but we have hired 2 project managers now in the past, both great people. First time we hired a project manager, well, if I go back even further, when we initially hired or bought a course that was around this, we were doing like 150 grand a month, and we just felt scattered. Maybe less, 100 grand a month. We felt so scattered, and we're like, oh, we need to buy this thing. We need like ops. We need like structure and project management. And like, I wasn't in a position where I had skill level or understanding or whatever to do it necessarily. And I also was kind of in this mind of like, oh, we just hire and fix it. And this was years ago. And that was wrong. I've now come to a realization that I like to get into things and then hire for them kind of after the fact a little bit, or hire someone who's extremely experienced. And again, we did not have the skill level to hire them. We did not have the brand authority to hire someone. We did not have the money to hire somebody at that time. So we paid for a course or like a training thing, and it was just too early. We did not need systems and structure. It added too much layer and complexity, and actually made it harder to get things done and mark them off and like run the system. It was harder to run the system than it was to just get shit done. Right? So that is like still what we're avoiding. And then the next time we did it, same-ish thing, like just coming in and trying to like think of it in this tech mind and they call it like scrum lists for tech side of things. And they're like trying to build out this and this. And once it gets into here, it goes into review stage. And once it's in a review stage, it's live, and then it's monitoring and whatever. And like that has its place for things like tech. That has its place for things like marketing. It does not necessarily have its place for these cross-department ones. And even then it doesn't, right? Because you have one time, you have recurring projects, kind of going on a tangent, but like they have different cadences, and they do not need to be like beat to death in a project management tool always. At scale, yes, like you need a system, you need a structure, you need it operating in that way. But for these kind of leaner team decisions, and I'm sure over time I'll change this, and this is to get us, to 50 or 100 a year. And then from there, I'm sure I will hire in somebody to kind of like fill in behind this. I'll have the conversations and stuff, and they will actually operate the boards. And I'm sure they'll clean this up. They'll make dependencies. They'll do all these things. But for us right now, and probably for a lot of people who would be listening to this, this is clean and simple enough to get you great profit and great scale and get projects done. Because the projects getting done are what get you the profit and the scale. Okay, so public visibility, one owner, and outcomes over effort, not just making us busy. So this helps you avoid the no deadline BS, which we already are having in the system that was prior to this, where it's like, oh, just bump it to the next week, no conflict. No priority. That's another one on here. So we are going to use for priorities, we're going to do it by due date. So there are priority fields. You can rank them. This is the highest, this is the lowest, this is whatever. For us, we're going to do it by due date. And then there's calendar views, there's Gantt views, where things are in order in that way. Things will get bumped. Something that'll be due, what's today, Wednesday? Things will be due tomorrow. We'll go to do them, and then we'll have something that's like an absolute fire that needs to be done immediately. I already have one example, and it's not even like a fire, but it needs to be done sooner than the other projects. So the other ones will get moved to Friday, and that one will get moved to tomorrow. So it's like, we're going to use this in order of doing that, and you'll always know. And then there's a date created field actually over here, so you can see when these were created and when they were completed. So you have a time from creation to completion. But the prioritization has been a huge issue, and it no longer will be, ideally. Too many tools. People string together all these tools. They use a spreadsheet for this. They use Notion for this. They use ClickUp for this. They use their own database, whatever, for this. We're simplifying. Okay, so the main 2 tools we are using, like I said here, we're going to have ClickUp. And then when we have larger things, we create a dedicated Slack channel that is project-based until completion, and then we close it. Okay, and that is a big one. We've tried to do just like drop it in a thread and just get it done. That's okay for like mini projects, but when it's fully fledged project, it's not okay. It does not work. You'll have 150 messages in a thread. Someone will send outside of there. Then you'll be in 2 channel. It just gets so fucking messy. It's like stupid. So we are going to do a dedicated Slack channel. An example of this is like comp overhaul. It's like we want to do a comp overhaul for whatever, CS call it. Let's just say an example. We are going to put a dedicated channel around that. We need all the data sent into there. We're going back and forth. It's a bigger project because it affects this and this. While we're talking about that, or that's a bad example. It's an entire comp overhaul. not just one department. So it's like, I want all the data, I want all the numbers, I want where everyone sits, I want the feedback request forms, I want all of that data inside of there. And we're communicating back and forth, back and forth. We're hopping on a meeting that we're setting to go over the data and make decisions. We're going a rollout. We're having the rollout conversation in there. Like, it's a fully fledged thing that needs communication as well as the project, and it'll have the subtasks within it to complete them. Overanalyzing happens way too much. That was just what I was talking about here, where it's like, it's kind of the same as project bloat, but you get to a point where you just have so many things that are like dependent on this and this. And it's like, once you do this, then you can do this, and then you can do this. And then it's like, it shit breaks. And then you set up automations that create things that are recurring because they're one off here, but then they're recurring here. And it's like, it's just too much. So we are going in this method and model. I hope this is helpful to you. You can do this in a sheet if you're super lean and mean, but like ClickUp is easy. Asana, I've heard actually great things about, but we're here now. I love Airtable. All of them do the same thing. Doesn't matter what tool you use. All of them do the same thing. I can't show you ours. I basically just did. I just created test items to show you ours. But yeah, so I hope this was helpful, and I hope this is just, again, all these videos, this is what I did today. This is a large portion of what I did this entire morning, was building this out and then actually migrating everything over from like one-off lists and all this shit because it was everywhere, and now it's all in one place. So I figured, again, as usual, I will talk about what we're doing now to scale. Okay. And this is going to be a very key point because marketing is having things, fulfillment is having things with multiple offers, sales has new complete leadership, and they have like, oh, I want to change this and these slide decks and these scripts and these whatever. It's like, we need a list, we need to prioritize, we need to work through them, and we need a cadence of meeting and going through these. So that's where we're at. We're doing okay in terms of cash. We did what, 80 something. We're in the right direction. Let's just say that. So I'll do another monthly update. Let's say the 14th. I'll do another monthly update, but we're going to beat last month for sure. But there's going to be a growth curve. I think I said that in yesterday's video, but there's going to be a growth curve to get this back onto where it needs to be. We came up with some stuff around marketing, and we're doing like a complete ground up launch on some cool new things. I can do a dedicated video around that and our theory behind it. We found some new stuff in VSLs. We shot some new brand face stuff. So we have like complete diversification there with multiple there, brand face, multiple page. Dog is yawning. But yeah, so all the videos will be here, www.ryanclogg.com/doc. On the top of this, there's also a request form. Once a week, I go through and answer all you guys' questions live on here. I think I've done 2 or 3 of those so far. So feel free to ask questions inside the request form, which is just this, I believe. Just request, and you guys can ask questions there. And yeah, that's what I got. All these sorted by tech, marketing, sales, ops, all the things. Follow me on IG and talk there is probably the best one. And then X2 is just a little harder to keep up on communication in there, I've found. I appreciate you guys. I think today's 63 in a row. So cooking along, and I'm excited to have these videos. I don't know when I'm going to stop, but I'm excited to have these videos where this is over 100 on total, and then where my trailing is 100 as well. So we're going to get there, and we're going to do it live. So talk soon, guys.